This episode of ETC is sponsored by Hot Pocket's Hunger for More Gaming Tournament.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. We're here in London, England, and it's just beautiful out.
Yeah, just a lovely day.
Love is in the air.
Not wet at all.
And lots of cold fog as
Yeah.
well. But anyways, we have news for you
Yeah,
on the tech front.
week, news hit that the FBI had ordered Apple Computer Incorporated, or whatever it's called, to give it access to an iPhone belonging to one of the suspects of the San Bernardino terrorist attacks. And when taken at face value, it seems like it's really not only a simple request, but also one that a majority of Americans wouldn't have a problem with. But as is the case with most tech-related inquiries from the government, it's not really that simple at all. And the potential implications of what is being asked has a lot more collateral damage than people would even be aware of by simply glancing at a headline and then attempting to demonize Apple for helping the terrorists.
Yeah.
So we are going to try to do our best to explain what's really going on.
Because it's very confusing to us, too. But when it comes down to it,
Who do they think they are?
Clear-cut line. But so basically what this all looks like in a public-facing way is simply asking Apple to unlock the phone so that the FBI could go through it, find out any important information they could use to either figure out what was going on in the weeks and months leading up to the attacks, if they coordinated with anyone, or if there was anything on there that they could use in the investigation into other potential attacks. To be fair, Apple has cooperated numerous times before, but in a completely different capacity. This request would require Apple to create entirely new code that would then be used to access encrypted data on the shooter's iPhone.
And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So as soon as the news broke, Apple CEO Tim Cook released a statement on the official Apple website explaining their position on the whole thing, and they said that they would not be cooperating in an effort to make sure that their customers' secure data stays secure.
Yeah.
He said this.
Now the US government has asked us for something we simply do not have, and something we consider too dangerous to create. They have asked us to build a backdoor to the iPhone. Specifically, the FBI wants us to make a new version of the iPhone operating system, circumventing several important security features, and install it on an iPhone recovered during the investigation. In the wrong hands, this software, which does not exist today, would have the potential to unlock any iPhone in someone's physical possession. So that's crazy.
He continued, the FBI may use different words to describe this tool, but make no mistake, building a version of iOS that bypasses security in this way would undeniably create a backdoor. And while the government may argue that its use would be limited to just this case, there's no way to guarantee such control.
Yeah, now without getting into the extremely intricate details of the situation, we'll attempt to give you the TLDR version of this and provide,
Too long, didn't read.
We'll provide lots of links in the description below so you can read further, because a lot of it's very interesting and certainly important, so you should definitely check it out on your own. But basically, the US government has been trying to get mobile phone manufacturers to create backdoors to their products for a while now, which, if used incorrectly, would basically give the government access to anyone's phone, essentially giving you absolutely no expectation of privacy, regardless of how little you had left anyway.
Yeah, and not just the government.
Yeah.
The governments of the world, and
Yeah.
anyone who got their hands on this software
basically.
can do it. And this is not the same as when we report on like phone and data providers like AT&T handing over information that you transmitted through text messages. That would be the phone manufacturers giving them access to literally everything in your phone.
Yeah.
We've seen before that regardless of the government's stance on protecting the privacy of its citizens, they're still doing it anyway, and you can thank Edward Snowden for that info.
Yeah.
What info are we talking about exactly? Location data, photos, videos, texts, emails, even your banking information. Literally anything you use on your phone would be essentially accessible by the government if they chose to investigate you for any reason.
Yeah.
Or potentially just because they're doing a wide sweep.
Yeah, or like we said, in the hands of anyone that doesn't have to have this software. So what the government is asking to have Apple create is a version of its software that can be installed on a user's phone so that they could bypass basic security features and access anything they want. And Apple, justifiably so, is refusing to do this, and it's not just because the government would have their hands on it, but it could also get into the hands of hackers and or quote-unquote cyber terrorists, which certainly wouldn't have your best interests or the interest of any particular country in mind.
They're called cyber terrorists for a reason.
Yeah.
Whatever, now that we're done briefly covering that, let's talk about the fact that the government is already reportedly doing this, and they're basically asking Apple for more of a formality than anything else. They already have tools which allow them to access a plethora of phones, including some models of the iPhone, but they need access to this specific model and software, which is proving to be harder than initially thought.
Yeah.
In fact, the government via Apple, already has access to everything that was backed up on the shooter's iCloud until he shut it off 6 weeks before the attack took place.
Yeah, basically Apple, in what could be considered by some a PR move, went public with the information that the FBI was even asking them to do this, and then in the interest of personal security, they told the FBI that they would not comply.
Fuck you.
But this is where the whole story gets wonky, because apparently Apple was only approached to create this new software after someone on the local San Bernardino government level fucked up the potentially easier access to the phone's data by changing the password to Syed Farouk's iCloud account, the one that they had previously had access to.
Yeah. So why would they do something so seemingly stupid? Well, because the goddamn FBI told them to.
Yeah.
Their Twitter account tweeted out the following. The county was working cooperatively with the FBI when it reset the iCloud password at the FBI's request. Okay, so why does this matter?
Yeah, because as a security precaution, a feature which would have allowed the phone to back up its data when connected to a known Wi-Fi access port is automatically disabled when someone changes the password. They detailed it further, saying that they wanted, quote, to attempt an auto backup of the subject device with the related iCloud account, but couldn't because, quote, neither the owner nor the government knew the password to the iCloud account, and the owner, in an attempt to gain access to some information in the hours after the attack, was able to reset the password remotely, but that had the effect of eliminating the possibility of an auto backup.
Dumb.
Yeah.
So a real monumental fuck up for sure.
Yeah.
Either way, the story is still developing, and the impending court case and attempts to create such software will no doubt alter the current status of cybersecurity in America in a similar way that the Patriot Act affected citizens after the attacks of 9/11.
Yeah.
So this is pretty big.
Yeah, but speaking of large-level attacks on cybersecurity, just last week in our hometown of Los Angeles, where I'm sure it's way hotter than it is here, a local hospital, Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center, was the victim of a cyber attack from a hacking group which rendered pretty much all of their computers absolutely useless.
Yeah, and by computers we mean like medical computers.
Yeah.
Stuff that hospitals use. So the attackers then demanded a ransom of $3.6 million in the form of bitcoins to give back control of the hospital to the proper authorities, making this one of the most terrifying cyber attacks in recent history for sure.
Yeah.
Patients had to actually be transferred to other nearby hospitals, and according to CSO Online, quote, in other parts of the hospital, computers essential for various functions including CT scans, documentation, lab work, and pharmacy needs are offline.
Yeah, they also reported that the hospital's network had been down for at least a week, which forced staff to, quote, rely on fax machines and telephones to get work done. It was like when Sony got attacked and they were basically back to writing notes down and passing them through the halls.
Was Malachi Love Robinson in LA
I think
about
so.
a month
Yeah,
ago?
yeah. With a
I've
mustache
been a
on.
doctor for years. Boop, boop, boop.
I've been a hacker for years. And in the end, apparently because no other options were left on the table, the hospital actually paid the ransom to get control of their systems.
Terrorists win.
Okay, so it wasn't the full ransom, though.
Yeah, initial reports stated that they did cough up the full $3.6 million, but the hospital quickly released a statement which indicated they settled with the hackers for 40 bitcoins,
Yeah.
which translates to $17,000. In the statement, they also said this.
The quickest and most efficient way to restore our systems and administrative functions was to pay the ransom and obtain the decryption key. In the best interest of restoring normal operations, we did this.
This sets a terrible precedent.
Well.
As of now, everything is back in working order over at Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center, which I will now refuse to ever use, even if I'm in an ambulance. Don't take me there. Anyway, they still maintain that they have no idea why they were chosen as the victim in this case. They believe it was a random attack.
Yeah, so, I mean, that could be the case. It could be them testing out the software, which is also terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary.
Now that they know that it works, especially.
Well, and
that
like
they could get the money from it.
the hackers, like they intentionally chose not to like kill life support and stuff. But if they wanted to,
Yeah, probably
they could have.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for Tech Tuesday this week. It was a lot to cover on the Apple thing. Plus, we're in London, and we're going to go do some cool stuff for the Spectre Blu-ray release, which you guys are going to see in a very short time. We're going to drive some Aston Martins.
Yeah, you pronounced it correctly this time. Thank God.
Are you sure it's not Ashton Martin?
I'm positive.
Are you sure it's not nuclear?
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh,
Watch
Jesus.
other content over here. We have a brand new podcast over here that I wasn't on and Shibby took my place on, so you'll enjoy that even more. And then we have a new news dump and, as always, a brand new episode. No, wait. Don't put Tugs on there. Don't put Tugs on there.
Fuck Tugs.
Put the Sam Pepper
Oh yeah.
leaving town forever thing on there instead. So we'll watch the Sam Pepper video. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Hey guys, one more thing before we go.
Yeah, we wanted to let you know that we will be at the Hot Pockets Hunger for More gaming tournament on February 26th and 27th.
Yeah, you can check us out and some other amazing people over on youtube.com/machinima and twitch.tv/machinima all weekend long, live from the event. More info down there in the description. Just go check that out. But we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're doing some pretty cool things down there, and it's gonna be us live.
Yeah.
We hate doing live things. You're gonna think it's great.
Are we gonna do something wrong? Are we gonna trip, fall?
Anything can happen.
Tune in.
Yeah.
It's live.
Bye.
Bye.